last time, I promise. Trust everyone but brand your stock, a quote that has been used for hundreds of years. One might ask, what is a brand or how does it work? A brand is a permanent form of identification used by livestock owners to prove that they own their livestock. There are three different ways of permanent branding: a hot iron, a freeze brand, or a tattoo. A hot iron is when you take a branding iron, put it in a fire until it is as white hot, place it on the animal, burn through their skin, and leave a brand. A freeze brand is when you use liquid nitrogen to cool down a rod with your brand on it, place it on them, and then when their hair grows back, it'll be permanently white. And tattoos are used, like, here's a tattoo gun. Tattoos are used for, like, racehorses. They'll tattoo the upper part of their lip, and they have to have a tattoo registration number to be eligible to race. The reason I chose to do this topic is to inform you why livestock owners brand their stock and its importance. I've worked with and owned livestock my whole life. Branding is an essential part to my operation, not only to identify but to prove that I own the stock that I own. Branding is a form of identification that has been used for thousands of years. First, I will go over a brief history of it. Second, its importance, and third, how to correctly give a brand. First, it dates back to 2700 BC. According to CowboyShowcase.com, Egyptians used hieroglyphics on oxen as religious and identification tools. Greeks and Romans branded slaves and livestock to symbolize wealth, power, and proof of ownership. Cortez introduced branding to the Americas around 1541. The Spaniards were intricate and detailed with their brands. Since then, it is much simpler, with less blotching. Here are some common brands used today. Next, we will discuss the importance of branding. Hot iron or freeze branding is hard to alter and is protected by state laws. According to the South Dakota Brand Board, it is a Class 5 felony to brand over or alter a previous brand. Also, Class 1 misdemeanors can include to hot iron brand any domestic livestock for ownership purposes unless registered with the brand board, and also to brand any livestock with an expired or rejected brand. When you get a brand, you need to keep it up to date or it will expire. It is something that has to be used generation after generation to be well known. Some states have brand inspection areas where it is required to brand your livestock. Unbranded animals are often referred to as slicks because they have no range. It is almost impossible to legally identify an animal without a brand unless you use DNA testing. The common places to give a brand are the shoulder and the hip. Uncommon places would be the ribs and the cheek. When you get a brand registered in your name, they will assign you an area: the hip and back, the rib, or the shoulder and forward. You can only have the left or the right side. Giving a brand correctly is important because so you do not misconfigure or make it unreadable. A brand to an inexperienced person might just be a couple letters or look like a hieroglyph, but to an experienced person it is a readable language. The three rules for reading are: first, always go from left to right, so like ML, top to bottom, bar, TA, and then outside, from the outside in, so that would be circle T. When you heat your irons, a wood fire is the best to use to heat. your iron. The chemicals in the smoke it should be the color of ash. Do not be tender-hearted when giving a brand. You must get all the way through the hair and the first layer of skin to make it permanent. All in all, branding is important to prevent thievery and identify your cattle. If you get your own brand, be aware of the laws and your inspection zone. Thank you. Just click it again.